Hello. I'd like to say a few words in this first of our weekly announcements about the format you'll be using in your work in this class. Think of format as the physical appearance of a piece of writing, or the way a piece of writing looks, and you'll see that it can help your reader understand your idea more easily by showing that you and your reader are on the same side, that you and your reader are on the same team. Using a consistent format is like wearing a team uniform, so that you can signify to your reader that you're one of us, and so your reader should pay attention to what you're saying, because you can, so to speak, dress yourself as a member of this academic community. With that in mind, let me say a few things about the format in this class. First, to begin, I want to remind you of the format standards that I wrote about in the syllabus. In the written introduction to this video, I provided a link to that page in the syllabus. I hope you went back and refreshed your memory if you needed to. If not, you can do that, of course, after you see this video. Let me show you what my word processing system looks like and how I make the changes necessary to bring my work into compliance with the class format. This is the corner of the screen that I would be looking at when I'm changing my formatting standards. First, notice that I have the font, which is Calibri, and as you know, I want to change that to Times New Roman. I can do that by activating this drop-down menu and finding Times New Roman and doing it that way. I can also just type in the phrase Times New Roman. It's already at 12 point, which is standard, so I can do that with some ease. If I wanted to change it, I would activate this drop-down menu and go to the number that I want, but it's 12. And finally, I would come to the line spacing button and change my line spacing to 2.0. And that way, I've made the changes that will make my piece of writing look more like the other pieces of writing in the class, and as I say, make it susceptible to being taken more seriously. Second, and this is something that I'm afraid I forgot to mention in the syllabus, this is a useful way to identify your papers in almost every class. So a lot of classes have this same format. I'm asking you to include information in the upper left corner of your page to look like this. I'm asking you to include in the upper left-hand corner of the first page of anything that you type or submit the following information: your name, whatever that is, my name, which will always be Charles Ardinger, the name of this course, which is English C99 81214, and finally, the date that you're submitting something on. The reason for this is that sometimes we in the English department trade papers, so it's useful to know which papers are from my class. That's why my name should be on there. Your name should be on there so I know whose writing I'm reading. The name of the class is useful because I teach more than one class and I don't want to get your writing confused with the writing in some other class. And the date of submission helps me know where I am in my grading process. So it helps me a great deal to have this information at the top left corner of the first page of things that you submit. You'll find also in most on-site classes, that is, classes where you go to a classroom and type things on paper and submit them that way. This is a pretty standard way of identifying papers in that kind of class. So again, this format indicates that you are a member of our academic community, that you're willing to do things to identify yourself as someone that we should pay more attention to. Finally, I've noticed this week that a number of students did not submit the first paragraph. I would prefer not to just give you an automatic 0 and I believe that I've got the modules set up so that you can't go on without completing the first module. So do complete that work, turn it in late. I will grade it as fast as I can, but please do keep progressing in the class. I think it's best when we all move along at the same pace. I look forward to reading what you have next week. I hope you'll look forward to learning more. And thank you, as always, for your time and attention.